Hey, NASDOG. We get the best dope on the markets. I am Alan Palmer. And what are we going to talk here? We're going to talk stocks, S&Ps. This is a chart of the S&Ps here. Okay, this was Friday, last Friday. Today is October 16th right here, 1:21 p.m. There's one of those blue horizontal trend lines there. Ignore those. Not the blue trend line like this, because I like those blue type trend lines. But if they're horizontal and thin dotted. Pardon me. Bill Gates is doing the chemtrails out here today, so the barium kind of gets to me. Barium is bad for your brain. Anyway, so here we had, you could see here, we had some lower highs all day here. This was that Friday. This was Trump and G, okay? And this was the announcement that they're going to up the tariffs on China that sells cheap Chinese crap. Okay, so we're not going to be able to buy cheap Chinese crap for cheap anymore. Okay, so maybe we'll start saving our money. Anyway, this was Monday. Tuesday, we came back down here, touched this, kind of held in. This was yesterday on the opening, the 15th. We ran right up, just little tiny olive lines. You can see there's one of these teal trend lines. And you have this, okay? We're just, listen, when we're at all-time highs, okay? This would be like trading cattle or silver. And but I just want, this, stocks don't have to go up, okay? And actually in the NAS, here's the NAS here, plus 16%. This is the same chart except in percent terms, okay? And, it's just, we have some things, okay, the end of October, you got something, Paul Tudor Jones, and he kind of talked about if it's the end of October, okay, we finish up at highs, that maybe we do a blow off. And absolutely, you can't argue with that guy. Of which he hired me back in 1990. And it was just a terrific time. I mentored under him and learned things like analogs and just other things. And so stocks don't have to, actually, why don't you look it up, look up the interview. If you need a translation for it, listen close, take some notes. Here's silver, and but some of the things he talked about was total market cap of different things. For example, like gold, okay? So, which was 12 trillion. That's what he gave out, as 12 trillion. As a matter of fact, and what we were up now at 2%, so, I mean, when we're doing all-time highs, and he did the interview 2 days ago. So, in the meantime here, okay, so we did stocks. Silver's at an all-time high, okay. And these are buy programs here. You get to, what was this, a $2 break, $3 break, 52 half to 148 in the goats. So 375 break, and we're making new highs. This is a trader's market. This is a trader's market, and if you're long, you're just long, right? This is what you're just long. Here's gold here, up $100. Okay, look at this. What is this? Okay, 42.95. Okay, that's a $20 sell-off. That's a $20 sell-off. Let's go over here to crude here. I've had these mapped out here for a while here. This would be here. These are olive lines, okay? But they're both the same exact ones. There's a little bit difference because of the data tweak. But right here, you can see right here, this one hit exact. Okay, went 2 cents below there. It's 57.28 is the actual number, and then we rallied 75 cents, and then here we've come back right down here. These would be a couple areas here. If, in fact, one was looking to buy crude, 56.73, 56.41. Okay? You're on your own. You use a stop. Always use a stop. Always use a stop. And that's, you need any more than that, get a hold of me here. Here's bean oil here. This is just, we're just kind of sitting here. This is one. I'm only going to cover the things that, I like this area right here, 410.5 to 411.5. This particular day right here, we had 47,000 contracts trade. And then here, this was the following day, 8:30 bar on the 14th, '09 up to 13, okay, and then you had 38,000 volume here, okay. So this is the guy on the opening, and he's just buys it, for example, and says, I'll buy it and pay up 1%. 409 to 413, 4 cents, that's 1%. And then he leaves it. Okay? That would be a big money manager. That might be somebody like, somebody we talked about. I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying anything, okay? Then here you get your typical 2 bars down. Okay? So anyway, so this is where we were today. We were up, what, a nickel? So here we are back at this 422. Let me go into something a little bit longer term. Let's look at it daily here. So we had this 19 trend line here. Look at this. Here's the blue trend line here. Ignore those. And don't ignore that. Don't ignore that. So, where were we? Okay, here's a monthly settlement. Okay. Okay, that's right. Everything sold off Friday. That was Friday. And then, that's right. Now we traded lower here. This is a daily chart. And then 10.5, which was the low of the day, to 11.5. I just noticed a shit ton of volume traded there, okay? To me, that stands out, That's what you get if you want to support me and, get my newsletter. And I put the levels out here for you. Okay, there's nothing really here, although you got this long-term trend line here. And I did say if you were buying that, to put your stop at 407.5, like under here, 407. Because you don't want to be risking a dime. I didn't think so. I think you would rather take a couple shots here. This is the wheat. Okay, we had this olive line buy here, 493. We got 489.5. I said one of the videos a couple days ago that there were two things this is the only other thing. So we've got a thick olive line. Okay, that's like 90% fire sale buy, fade, counter trend, but yet trend. And then you have a larger something else that's only in orange, okay, which means there's another olive down there, but and we were under $5, okay. Here you can see, okay, here, let's do this real fast here. Okay, there's your head and shoulders, 403.5. So if you don't have time to do all this crap, and you're just like, you want to come in, you got whatever, man, you got a business. And you're like, okay, I just need to know some shit here. So here's the shoulder, here's the head, here's the shoulder, okay? Here's the shoulder. This would be a neckline, okay? You could have a neckline right here. If you like to, here, okay? If that's more your style, you like it back down here, okay, then right over here. And then actually, no, this is like a 60-minute. Okay, that teal moving average actually is something else I learned from someone decades ago. So let's finish up here on gold, and then we'll call it a wrap here. So, looking at it a little bit of the longer term, this is an intraday chart here. This was the last break, 40.75 to 39.60-ish, okay? And this was actually, look at this, on the 9th and 10th. Today's the 16th, so we're 325, what is that? $350 higher, okay? 390 would be 10%, jeez Louise. So that, this is gold. Let's look at it a little bit longer term here. Things aren't really going to change here because we're at all-time highs. Nothing says that, what are you going to do? We could go anywhere. Okay, all-time highs. The only way you could sell that is with a stop, with a stop. I wonder what it is on the year. Anyway, you need something, get a hold of me, ARP, at NASDOG. Throw me a comment in one of these social medias here. If there's something you want to see or you got a suggestion for me, let me know. Thanks for watching.